Hey guys, my name's Phil. It's once again Tuesday. Let's do another one of these Tuesday at noon videos. This week's video will be all about random stuff you can cram in your bass drum to try and affect the sound that it makes. Different people like to use all kinds of random stuff. You know, the sound guy at the gig might want you to stick a little something in there, so you might throw in something like your merch, or a t-shirt that you have lying around from that time you went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame and they had no t-shirts in your size, but you wanted to buy a t-shirt anyway because you were there because it was your 25th birthday, but they had no t-shirts in your size, so you bought one that doesn't fit. Or you might want to throw in your cat that's not quite a kitten anymore, so you know, he can now take a bit more abuse. Or you might want to throw in your more aerodynamically sound three-legged tailless cat just to see what the other cat's doing. Or you might want to throw in a heated blanket off the couch in the other room because you're just trying to pad out the video for your YouTube channel. What I've done in the past is make an EQ pillow, essentially, and I'll show you how I make it. You need a ratty old towel that your missus or your partner or whoever isn't going to get upset with you for absconding with and destroying. You also need a roll of gaffer tape, because you know, you always need a roll of gaffer tape, and a knife. Now kids, when you're playing with knives, don't be an idiot, don't cut your fingers off, all that crap. Now that we're looking at the bass drum and my crotch, fold the towel in such a way that it will touch the front and back heads slightly. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. And now comes the fun part where you get out your gaffer tape. You can also do this with duct tape or whatever the hell else you got lying around. Fold it back, lay it across here. Sticky side up, don't be a dummy. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Boop-boop-a-doo. I'll take it in a little bit here. Tape over, right? Tape over. And then do the same again on the other side. What this does, the whole point of this, is you stick it in such a way that you can kind of fan out the ends a little bit. What is that? Right? You fan out the ends as wide as you can, more just at the heads to kind of, you know, muffle it a little bit. Here's what the bass drum sounds like, wide open, with nothing in it. So that's wide open. And now the handy thing about this is that you can actually just kind of shove it in the hole. That's what Jim said. Here's what it sounds like with that towel bundle shoved in there. Hear how it just takes off a little bit of the high end? Whoop, I should not have put that on the shelf behind me. So now I'm going to take that pad back out and I'm going to show you what it sounds like with this in it. Housekeeping stuff, my weight. I've been a ridiculous headless chicken this week. I've made 2 cajones, I've done a bunch of random stuff. I haven't been doing much running, but I have still been doing some work. I just haven't been leaving and doing the runs and whatnot. So things are going as well as expected, I suppose, given those circumstances. Myself personally, I always keep a piece of this stuff, this sound isolation foam stuff, in my bass drum case. I find sometimes it's good to have just a little bit of muffling in the bass drum. This works fine. If you come across a soundy that wants to put a PZM in there, you can just, or a boundary microphone or whatever, you can put this in there and it can sit on that and it can help it, you know, be isolated from rattling and shaking around and stuff. This is with the pad against the resonant head. More wide open-y sounding. And now I'm going to move it to the batter head. I kind of like that myself a lot, actually. Kind of takes away a bit of the slap, but it keeps the thump there. It also makes the fixtures in the room rattle more, which is always fun. Let's talk about what makes this work? When the beater on your pedal hits the head, it creates frequencies across the entire harmonic spectrum. But essentially, putting soft surfaces in there will absorb the mid-high and high frequency stuff a bit more, and it will make you notice the low end more. It will sound more prevalent, I guess you could say. You're not actually adding anything, but by subtracting the high end, you make the low end more obvious. The more soft surfaces you have, the more will get absorbed, but at the same time, the less sound will come out of your drum, right? So if you want a big fat sound, you gotta have a wide open bass drum, right? So it's always a balance. Fills, fills, fill, fill. I am a big Jeff Porcaro fan. He could do things that made no sense and make them make sense. This week's fill comes from Hold the Line by Toto. Fantastic stuff. It's the first time I ever heard someone do a fill with their foot. I was like, oh, that is so cool. Boom, boom, bap, boom, boom, poof, right? In a shuffly context, and just everything is so fantastic about it. I just love it. So here's that fill. I played the drum wide open earlier, but here's what it sounds like again. Right? Now I'm gonna throw a bunch of crap in there and just stuff this thing as much as I possibly can. What it sounds like with a bunch of crap shoved in it, nothing but, there's no body to it, there's no air left in the bass drum. For frequency to get out of your drum, it has to travel through air. It can't travel through pillows and t-shirts and whatnot as well, you know, or cats or whatever's in your bass drum. I'm not a fan of that sound. It's got no body to it. It's got no oomph. It's got no chutzpah. If you like these videos, share, like, and subscribe, and tell your friends, tell everybody you know, tell your periodontist. I haven't done a shout out to periodontists in a while. Tell everybody, you never know who's a drummer who might dig this stuff, and I hope you have a killer week, and I will see you next Tuesday. Toto, the line? What's that damn song called? Hold the Line, really? Oh, well, there you go. So,